ask me about my God story, I would have to go back to before I was ever born. My mom was a 15-year-old young pregnant girl from a very poor and challenged family. She had chosen a horrible choice in a boyfriend, and she now had a terrible decision to make, whether to have me and to keep me, or to make a different decision. And thankfully, she made the decision to have me and to keep me. The boyfriend didn't stick around. He didn't love her or me. But God saw fit to bring a great man into her life that gave us both a happy home and gave me a happy childhood. I had an elderly neighbor who lived beside me, who took me to church, took me to Sunday school. And from a very early age, I learned about Jesus. I learned about how much God loved me. I learned about His plan for my life. And even though I had great parents, I had a great home, I had family members who loved me, and even though I had great parents and a great home and a knowledge of God, it didn't stop every bad thing as I hoped it would. I had terrible self-esteem. I never felt I had a place. I wasn't sure what my place was. I didn't know how to communicate well with other people. And for many, many years throughout my childhood, I was abused by a trusted family member. And with that came guilt, embarrassment, shame, not knowing how to deal with it, not knowing how to voice it, being afraid to voice it. And so that inner turmoil caused me to, there again, not know myself, not like myself, and really not know where I was supposed to be. Then when I was 16, my dad passed away, and the home life that I knew was no more. It changed almost everything in my life, from relationship with my mom, relationships with other family members, the family dynamic. Virtually everything in my life changed at that point. And I was very angry. I was very bitter. I didn't understand why this had happened to me, why that had happened to me, and now why my dad was gone. And I turned my back on the Lord. And I thought that the world could offer me answers. I thought that the world could offer me something better. And boy, oh boy, was I ever wrong. And even though I ran from Him, He never left me. And with that knowing inside that I was in the wrong and that I was running from God, and that pull on my life, because like I said, He never left me. But with that pull still pulling me, I still felt shame. And it wasn't until a couple years after that that God brought Michael into my life. And with that positive relationship, and with the remembrance of God and who He was, and that call that I've always known that He's had on me, I decided that it was time to stop running, and it was time to surrender to Him and to the call that He placed on me, and who He had made me to be, and what He had made me to be. And I wish that I could say that the low self-esteem, the self-loathing, the negative feelings that I had, I wish I could say that they went away overnight, but they didn't. It was a process. And I learned through that process that through His mercy and through His grace and through His goodness, that I could reach out to Him and He'd be there with me and bring me out of those depths, bring me out of those pits into the place where He had created me to be. God has given me a wonderful life. He's given me a beautiful family. He has given me dreams and hopes that I know He has instilled in me. And He's given me a purpose and a hope for the future. And so when I think back about my walk with God, I see and I remember that He never left me. He never forsaked me. He heard my prayers even when I didn't feel worthy of even praying for them. He delivered me of things that I should have never been involved in to begin with. And He loved me enough to never let me go. And so what's my story with God? God is good. God's my Redeemer. God is my healer. God is my peace. God is my hope. God is my everything. And that is my testimony.